Howdy everybody. Today we're talking about gear. As you can see, I am all geared up, and I wanted to talk about how my opinions and perception on gear have changed over time as a relatively experienced rider. Let's swing a leg and talk about it, shall we? Let's fire up the old Hornet 750 over here. Man, bone stock with the muffler removed. It's pretty nice, honestly. So I started motorcycling back in May of 2015, and it really wasn't a question to me whether or not I was gonna wear gear. I remember when I started riding, I just thought to myself, yeah, I gotta go get, helmet, jacket, gloves, boots, kind of just do best practices, and I wore what I thought was best at the time. So my first set of gear was like, I think it was an Icon helmet, because it's really all I could afford at the time. I remember I put all of my gear on a credit card because I didn't have the cash to buy it when I was 22 years old or whatever, which, yeah, kind of embarrassing. I wish I had a little bit of money back then, but I was broke. What can you do? That was a long time ago. And I got a simple textile jacket. Airbag vests weren't even like a thing back then, except if you wanted like the crazy Helite turtle ones or whatever. I got a simple set of gloves. I didn't wear riding pants, and I just got like some super simple riding shoes, kind of like the ones I'm wearing right now, honestly. And I started thinking about how my pattern around gear has changed because of my riding shoes particularly. So in the past like 5 or 6 years, I've been like a diehard Alpinestars SMX evangelist. I often said, like, you'll never catch me riding not wearing these boots, and they're big sturdy boots, and they're really good. Like, you could actually use them for a lot of different purposes. I did track days with them, I rode on road, I would even dabble a little bit off-road with them. They were a great boot to wear for almost any kind of riding, and they were very supportive and very protective, going all the way up to the calf, a proper motorcycle boot, right? The thing is, those are fine if you're just like, going out for a ride and coming right back home, right? They're not really that great for just existing in the world. And actually this year, I started commuting by motorcycle a whole lot more. And the only reason I got these shoes was because I was doing wheelies on my Grom, and I was like, dude, I can't feel the rear brake when I'm doing wheelies on my Grom with these crazy big ass boots. I was like, I need like a sneaker that's kind of protective, but it allows me to feel the rear brake a little bit. And so I got these shoes, and then, one day I was running late for work to get to Yamanoob HQ, and I was like, dude, I don't want to put on the whole like SMXs and all that. I was like, let me just slip on these shoes. And at first it felt like I wasn't even wearing gear. I kind of felt weird about it. I was like, dude, I'm like not wearing proper motorcycle gear. This feels bad. But I don't know, the more I ride, it's like, yes, you obviously want to wear as much gear as possible, but you also want to wear stuff that you're actually going to wear. I know that sounds kind of weird, but there's a lot of gear that you can go and buy, and it is so bulky, it is so cumbersome, it is so, like, it takes away the feeling of riding, so much so that you're like, dude, I kind of have a tough time riding while wearing this. For example, like, I know a lot of guys do this. I could not understand it for the life of me. A lot of guys go out and ride on the street in like a full suit, full leather racing suit. I live here in Texas. It is hot as balls in this state, and I cannot fathom wearing a full leather race suit to just go ride around some fun twisty roads. If you're riding twisty roads in a way that you think you're gonna crash and you think a leather suit is really gonna save you, I just don't want to. Like, that's a crazy way to live and a crazy way to ride. Like, that is not the way I do it. Obviously when I'm on track, I wear a full suit because that just feels good to wear it. It's the correct environment, and it's the appropriate environment to wear the suit, right? But on the street, it's like kind of overkill, And so I've just been kind of balancing this act with gear. It's like, do I go overkill to be ultra safe? Like, do I literally wear like head to toe, like all the time, as safe as possible, everything I could ever wear, like airbag suit, vest, like I always wear a full face helmet. Some people wear the big gauntlet style gloves, the full proper boots. Or is it like, do I just want to wear something that makes me feel comfortable enough and safe enough, and I ride in such a way that I'm probably not going to crash at ultra high speeds, and it will probably be fine? I start to sound a bit like a boomer Harley rider, but I'm like, on the street, I'm not really riding in a way that would allow for a high-speed crash or situation where I'd want a full suit or an airbag system. But I think the difference there, and it's a personal risk assessment thing where, you know, like, it happened to Jixer Bra, it happened to Chase on 2 wheels, you know, it happened to my buddy here locally, that, you know, it can happen at any time. And I totally understand the perspective of, like, you always want to wear as much gear as possible because you never know what can happen. But I've also, again, this is just my controversial sort of hot take opinion on this, I'm also like, you're kind of the maker of your own destiny with your motorcycle. And a lot of these incidents that I see, I'm like, it's not like it was a complete act of God and there's nothing you could have done, you know? I think if you are riding within the margin always and anticipating and looking ahead, you know, it's funny how the more I ride, the luckier I get and the less incidents I have. You know, this year, knock on gas tank, I guess, I've not had one single close call on road. And I think last year I had one maybe, and then the year behind that I had maybe 2. Like, it's been going down year over year. I haven't crashed on track even in since 2021, I think that was the last time I crashed on track. And that's kind of like, you know, okay, maybe I'm like not pushing as hard or not getting any faster, but my lap times are coming down every year. I very consistently go to Eagles Canyon Raceway. That's kind of like my main home track, and I'm sitting at a 202.6 at that track. I just consistently get faster, you know? Like, I just saw that truck back out over there. Like, it was total muscle memory to brake as that truck was coming. This is what I mean of, like, I just keep getting luckier. Things don't scare me. I don't have situations happen on road. I ride in places that are familiar to me. I don't know, man. And, like, the gear affects that too. And it affects what I'm doing with it, right? And the type of bike you ride too affects it, right? Like, when I'm cruising on my adventure bike, I just want gear that keeps me breezy and comfortable for a big, long ride. So, like, yeah, I'll wear, you know, a good amount of gear. I got the full face, the helmet, the jacket, all that good stuff. But, you know, sometimes I don't wear my airbag vest, and sometimes I do. It just depends on what I'm going for. If I'm riding a scooter or something like that, or around my neighborhood, yeah, maybe I will just wear a t-shirt and, like, a half helmet if I have it lying around. Just because, like, I don't think it makes sense to wear all of the gear to just, like, pop out really quick or to go slow speeds. And I understand this is a spectrum. Everybody's gonna have their personal opinions on this, but that's just my opinion on it. That's been changing over time, and I'm allowing myself to be a little bit more lax, I guess, you know, and understanding that, you know, the main variable in crashing a motorcycle is not the amount of gear that you're wearing. It's the rider, it's the bike, it's the conditions. The gear is kind of like an insurance policy, and much like insurance, you know, I have good insurance, but I'm not paying for the most comprehensive, insane, lowest deductible, best insurance possible, because quite frankly, it's a waste of money at that point. I think you should have enough insurance that you feel comfortable, and the gear is something that reflects that too.
If someone were to tell me, design a perfect street motorcycle, well, it may end up looking something like this Honda Hornet CB750. I don't mean to glaze this bike too much, but it really is that good. Take everything you like from an MT-07 or other street-going motorcycles, blend them all together, and give a fun package, all with the Honda refinement and reliability you've come to expect. Best part about this bike, it's a giveaway motorcycle on yammynoob.co. Hit the link down below and become a member today for your best chance to win. This giveaway is going to wrap up before the end of the year, so your time is running out. Hit that link below and get started today.
So I wear an appropriate amount of gear that's going to keep me safe if I crash under the conditions with which I normally ride. So like right now, I'm wearing full leather jacket, it's got padding, it's got a back protector. There's no chest protector on it, which I kind of wish it had, but that's okay. I then have slide resistant pants, I've got these shoes, and I'm under no impression, like if I come off my bike, I'm going to get hurt, but I'm probably not going to massively reduce my injury if I have full boots versus these boots. You know what I'm saying? The more important thing to think about is, hey, how do I ride so I don't crash? And I think that's something really important to think about. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, motorcycling has to be fun. And I don't know, man, like wearing like a full Aero Stitch jacket with like the full like airbag suit and all that stuff every single time I go ride, I don't know, it kind of saps the fun away from me. Because yeah, there is something kind of stupid and monkey brain about it, to where it does feel kind of good to ride in a t-shirt sometimes. I don't do it hardly ever, you know, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys like, yeah, I've never jumped aboard a motorcycle wearing just a t-shirt. Dude, I'm only human, you know? And I think like ritualistically and religiously following ATGATT, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But for me, I live a little bit more in the gray area. I like being a little bit more lax with it. But I also recognize that I am someone with a pretty big audience online, and I do want to set a really good example. So that is why it's really important to me that every time you guys see me ride on this channel, I am wearing all of my gear, and I am riding in a somewhat sensible way, and I'm not pushing way outside the bounds of what is reasonable on road, even though we are on a very nice ribbon of asphalt right now in the hill country. And maybe we can pick up the pace a teensy bit, because I've been riding a Goldwing for the last couple of days, and it is nice being back on a sport naked motorcycle. Listen to that short stroke. How nice. All this stuff is interrelated though, man. Like, when I see somebody crash on a motorcycle, I've seen a lot of these crash compilations and, you know, people riding in silly ways. Sometimes they're wearing gear, sometimes they're not. The common denominator to me, and look, this may sound a little rude, but I'm like, these people have no effing idea how to ride a motorcycle, you know? You see somebody just like casually go wide slowly on a corner, you're like, dude, like, you don't know the fundamentals of just like how to carve a line on a bike. Like, that's kind of a problem. Or someone who like grabs 4 fingers of brakes, you know, without slowly progressing the lever. I'm like, okay, you like fundamentally don't even know how to brake on your motorcycle. That's kind of a big deal, and no amount of gear is gonna save you in that sense, right? Like, focusing on gear so much kind of takes away from the importance of riding a motorcycle. You know, the important part about riding a motorcycle is how you ride. It is your riding technique. It's your ability to practice good lane positioning and habits. I think people who obsess about gear, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's not really the point of motorcycling to me. Like, it's an important part of it, right? Like, you want to wear gear, but man, I don't really spend any time thinking about gear at all. I don't know, you guys tell me in the comments if this is resonating with you. Like, do you spend time thinking about gear other than, you know, like, oh, my helmet's 5 years old, I better get a new one, or oh, my jacket's got scuffed up, maybe I'll get another one next season. Like, I spend literally 0 time thinking about this stuff. I'm just like, is it safe enough? Do I feel comfortable in it? Great, cool. Like, I've had these same gloves for years, and I'm like, yeah, they're still there and they're fine, and what do I care, you know? I also think, like, you know, I'm kind of very brand loyal, especially to a ride that saved my life several times in several crashes I've had. And so for me, like, anytime I need a new helmet, I'm like, yeah, I'll just get in a ride. I don't even question it, you know? I just get the helmet. I don't sit there and worry so much. Because I think what it is a lot of it is this consumer culture. A lot of it is wanting to sit there and, you know, stress over the minutiae of the detail. And, you know, even companies like Revzilla kind of got you guys roped into this with their like gear breakdown videos and this and that and oh, the vents and this and that. I'm like, man, it's just a piece of personal protection equipment, you know? It's different than buying a motorcycle. Like, the bike itself is very important because, yeah, like, they feel different, they do different things, they cost very different amounts of money. You know, for me, it's like, I understand people are in different economic situations, but I'm like, I'm not going to get pressed over, oh, this helmet's $100 more and this one's $100 less. Like, I buy a new helmet every 5 years. If I want one that's $100 more, I'll just get the one that's $100 more. It's just not that big a deal. So yeah, I think I'm still what most people would qualify as ATGATT. I think especially compared to some people. Jigsaw comes to mind, who, you know, literally just wore like helmet, slide resistant pants, t-shirt, and like Vans and gloves, and that's it. You know, real stunt spec kind of guy. I think by that, you know, I'm definitely more like, you know, ATGATT. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's also like an intersection where like people assume that, I mean, I kind of assume this too. Like, if you're really into gear, it's kind of just like a little nerdy to me too. I'm like, damn, that is the least interesting part of motorcycling to me. Like, I want to figure out, you know, oh, how do I carve this corner faster? Or, oh, let's make this bike faster. You know, what is this? What kind of cool history does this bike have? Like, what kind of engine is it? Like, that's the stuff that's interesting to me. And I don't know, I guess people can be interested in whatever they want to be interested in, but getting into motorcycling purely for the gear is a bit strange. Maybe a lot of it comes down to people who are helmet talk people and all they have is the helmet, and so they're like, dude, that's the whole thing, man. Like, I don't have a bike, so I gotta focus on the helmet. Maybe that's the whole thing. Alright boys, thanks so much for checking out today's video. I think I'm gonna keep riding this Honda Hornet because it is a beautiful day here in Hill Country and I've got the chance to cruise around on a bike, and I am going to take it. So, with all that being said, thanks so much for checking out today's video. I truly do appreciate it. We will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.